I have to do my show.
I can't help it, Your Honor.
Oh my god, did you just call me Your Honor?
Yeah.
Babe.
Baby.
Baby. Babe, you're so epic.
Oh, you're so punk.
Oh, you are. Oh, will you drum all the small things on my ass when we get home?
Yeah. Hands or stick?
The problem is that when you have nothing important to say, you just keep rambling. It's a non-stop, endless flow of words. Voters don't support the disgusting women on The View because they are totally out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and they really ought to consider getting their message from the media whoopee on instant messaging. For years, Goldberg dominated the show, sitting at the top like a king or queen, stifling guests' opinions, and presenting her views as if they were indisputable facts. But in one astounding instance, her strict control over daytime television broke, down in front of us, and Caroline Leavitt was the reason no one anticipated it. The episode began with the usual panel of heads nodding and smug smiles and eye rolls, all of which were perfectly in line with the show's left-leaning ideology. Whoopi returned, poised and ready to take over, and the topic of conversation changed. Of wokeness, a term that The Viewpoint literally honors and defends as if it were the cornerstone of their entire existence, because, to be honest, it's a feeling. The first shot was delivered by Invincible Whoopi, who, with her trademark smirk, pointed at Caroline and declared boldly that, without wokeness, you wouldn't even have this job. Suddenly, the entire atmosphere in the room changed, and everyone became tense. Joy Behar, who made a living by making fun of conservatives, even shifted uneasily in her chair. After all these years, what Whoopi says next is predictable and annoying, just as you would anticipate. A host. You would think that her banter would be a little more inventive, but here we are. Let's see what she has in store for us this time. Tension was high in the air, and everyone was preparing for what was about to happen. Let's simply say that Whoopi wasn't ready for the reaction she was going to receive. This wasn't merely a disagreement or a lighthearted back and forth. Rather, it was Whoopi Goldberg making fun of Caroline Litt's entire career, intelligence, and work ethics by dismissing everything she had worked for as merely a byproduct of the very ideology she opposed. It was condescending, dismissive, and intended to demean her entirely. Yet in spite of the blatant insult, the audience applauded as if they were following along automatically. Some even laughed, but there was a noticeable tension in the air, a hint of unease that suggested they knew Whoopi had gone too far, but weren't sure if they could admit it. Caroline, however, didn't recoil. She didn't trip or run for cover. She didn't scramble for a snappy comeback. No, she did something much more powerful. She smiled slowly and knowingly, a smile that said, "Oh, you just made a big mistake." Was the smile of someone who knew they had the facts, the proof, and the confidence. Not arrogance or overconfidence, poised to completely reverse the situation. And she did so with an unwavering calm that was almost terrifying. This was something the audience had never seen before. By the way, if you're enjoying this epic battle, please like and subscribe, as we're going to delve even more into this event that will never be forgotten. Caroline began by outlining government spending figures that demonstrated precisely how public funds were being directed into absurdly progressive initiatives. She began with cold, indisputable facts that couldn't be dismissed with a caustic remark or a wave of the hand. Studies of gender in Guatemala. These adaptations of Sesame Street, intended to spread American social activism throughout the world, along with numerous other programs that raised. She connected the links with surgical precision, revealing how wokeness had changed from a social movement to a political weapon that was being used to silence, control, and punish anyone who dared to question it. Whoopi, she stopped laughing. There were many more questions than answers. She's really articulate, isn't she? It's rather perplexing that The View hosts opted to make fun of her rather than assisting a different female. Let's see how this develops. I'm confident Caroline is going to uncover more information that will be difficult for them to ignore. It truly does disclose a lot about their underlying goal, the woman who had made a living by controlling discussions, silenced conservative voices, and bullied. She was used to guests stumbling their words and struggling to keep up with her quick-fire comebacks, but this time the tables were turned. No matter how much she might have wanted to clap back and turn the conversation back to her favor, she was unable to do so. She was suddenly on the defensive. Whoopi shifted in her seat, her usual smirk gone, and her hands moving as if looking for something to hold on to. Everyone could see that, for the first time in a long time, Caroline was not giving her the opportunity at that precise moment. Goldberg had backed herself into a corner while watching Whoopi, and since there was no simple way out, she opened her mouth. Close it and open it again, but nothing appears. The words simply refused to emerge. The audience, who were usually so quick to applaud her, sat frozen in an awkward silence. Even the most devoted viewers were unsure of how to respond. The mood of the room had changed, and for once, nobody knew whether they should clap, laugh, or simply wait for Whoopi to say something in order to recover. Even the camera team paused before focusing on Whoopi's astonished face to capture the moment she. The real question that Caroline had revealed was that she had walked straight into a trap, and there was no easy way out. She realized she had trapped herself or cut to commercial, and hoped the viewers wouldn't notice Whoopi, who was usually so quick with a snide remark or a dismissive gesture, sitting stiffly in her chair, clearly wishing she could disappear into it. Why are conservative women the targets of attacks if wokeness is genuinely about diversity and inclusion? Why do people who advocate for tolerance become aggressive when they encounter someone who doesn't fit their mold? Whoopi Goldberg realized she had no rebuttal, no funny comment, and no comeback with their beliefs at that very moment. The stillness persisted, and everyone felt desperate to get better in order to change the situation. In a last-ditch effort to defuse the situation, Joy Behar rushed in and tried to push out a nervous joke, but the damage had already been done. Whoopi had fully unhinged on live television, something that even she had never done before.
Your kids have even come to me with problems that they have and how you are, so.
Is that helpful? You're like adding it into a fight to like have a side, like it's you and my friends and my kids and everyone against me.
You is when I was walking down the aisle in Italy and I got the long train, I was so nervous and it was either gonna like come back. Then I walked.
It's difficult to watch since her arguments come out as so juvenile and contemptuous, especially when confronted with facts that she finds difficult to accept. It is perplexing to see someone who so obviously lacks substance still maintaining a platform. Perhaps it is because she has been so embedded in daytime TV culture for so long, but at this point, you would think she would have been replaced by someone who can contribute more intelligent discourse.
Last few months, I've really gotten to know you so well and grown so much love for you. You look out for me like a mother and always have had my back. I really think you have filled the empty spot in my heart so well and have shown me great morals that have taught me so much. Together, you guys show what true love looks like. It's truly inspiring to all of us. We are blessed to be around you guys.
You hate us. You're a different person. We all talk about it.
I don't need you guys. You cannot stand someone else being the center of attention. You came to my wedding. You couldn't be happy. You complained from the second you got there till the second you left. That's what it's about. Forget about you couldn't be happy. You couldn't be happy for me. You couldn't be.
As well as the internet. Oh, the internet's reaction to memes went crazy. Clips that provide minutes of nonstop commentary. Social media was filled with replays of Whoopi's shocked response. But this is where it gets even stranger. Whoopi has gotten herself into trouble before by running her mouth. Throughout the years, she has turned the situation into a lawsuit, dragging ABC from one crisis to the next with her tone-deaf remarks about the Holocaust and her strange defenses of dubious figures. Whoopi has been involved in some of the most contentious. There have been some of the show's most memorable moments, but nothing has affected ABC more than the recent spate of defamation cases. The lawsuits against Carrie Underwood, Elon Musk, and Caroline Leavitt have been coming one after the other, making it more difficult for ABC to overlook the expenses of Whoopi's unfiltered commentary. What's worse is that this time, Whoopi had no one to blame but herself. Let's talk about Carrie Underwood. When she performed at Trump's second swearing-in ceremony, Whoopi and her co-hosts viciously attacked her, not only criticizing her performance. They went all savage on her, making fun of her and saying she had destroyed her career, even implying that she was now in favor of hatred. They thought Carrie would just take it easy because the entire segment was a character assassination. But instead of making a vague statement or sending a vague tweet, Carrie did something unexpected and filed a $1 billion defamation lawsuit against The View. When that case finally reached the courtroom, something explosive came up that nobody, not even Whoopi, was prepared for.
Not about business. It's just there's so much and it takes precedence over hurting your sister. It's just legit copying my wedding. Like everything that I did was like pulling like references of like 90s. Like it's just like it's stupid because it's the deeper thing that it's about. It's grabbing whatever's in the way. It's like such an abundance or like an excess. Like it's never enough. It's never like just okay to like not do something or turn something down because it doesn't make sense.
It's encouraging to witness someone defy the opinions that have been predetermined by us, and to see someone boldly stand there. Speaking with facts feels like a win, especially when the conventional voices begin to falter. It's gratifying to hear an alternative viewpoint unencumbered by the usual agenda. Caroline's accomplishments are difficult to define these days, but her stats are excellent, and it's wonderful to see her get acclaim. Although she had a terrific beginning in acting, her most recent contributions seem to be more about igniting controversy than providing insightful commentary. Her position on The View seems to be more about prestige than any actual contributions she is making, and it is difficult to find anything noteworthy that she has done recently. According to emails that were hacked, ABC purposefully planned the attack on Carrie Underwood to increase evaluations. It wasn't a casual slip. Rather, it was a planned smear campaign intended to stir up controversy, incite indignation, and maintain the trend. When the truth came to light, the industry was rocked. Behind the scenes, ABC executives were obliged to make a huge, undisclosed settlement after going into full damage control. There were rumors that The View was no longer worth the bother. But just when they believed it was over, Elon Musk went on a Whoopi, and the hosts spent months spreading untrue information about Twitter's practices under his leadership and painting Musk as a dangerous person. Ownership Musk was not going to allow that to happen, so he filed a lawsuit, and the perspective was once again in crisis mode, with advertising once devoted to. The show began to back off because of the ongoing scandals that were damaging its reputation as a ratings goldmine, and major sponsors began to wonder if it was worth the risk as the L-suits mounted and the View cracks deepened. Whoopi Goldberg's once unstoppable force was now in disarray, and with 3 lawsuits and advertisers abandoning the show, the network was in full panic mode. The View had lost its value, and ABC was unable to halt the. Although she keeps talking in circles, Caroline is the one who is actually speaking up and resisting all of this. She is the hero.